Welcome to video 4 of this 5-video series on negative thoughts, specifically around food and creating food as a mindset where food is fuel and nothing else. Simply fuel. Alright, so I mentioned in the last video that I would be talking about the mindset of chatter, managing your mind chatter. Asking questions like, is it true? Does it serve me? What is this trying to tell me? What is this thought that I'm having trying to tell me? Typically, we are looking to avoid an emotion. That is why we do certain things. That is why we overeat. That is why we overdrink. That is why we smoke. That is why we look at our phones. That's why we watch TV. That is why we eat chips. We are avoiding an emotion. And quite often that emotion is actually boredom. So think about it. Think about, I just sat on my couch and all of a sudden I want chips. Right? Or this TV show isn't very exciting, so I'm just kind of gonna add a little habit to it. I'm maybe a little bit bored. Or this movie is really sad, and I've now associated sadness with eating chips because it's comforting. But that doesn't serve you. Food is fuel. Sitting on the couch eating chips is not fueling your body. You know that. Deep down you know that. You know that chips do not serve you. Yet we've created the habits in our lives and we've justified those things. We've justified, it's just a few handfuls. But is that really serving you? Is that really getting you closer to your outcome, to your end goal? So what we have to do is look at that. And we have to be aware of that. Being aware of the thoughts that come into your mind and the thoughts that go. Awareness is this watcher standpoint. I call it being the watcher. Watching your thoughts. Knowing that those thoughts are not you, they are simply stories that you are creating, and you are creating because of your limbic brain, of your primitive brain, which is designed to do what? Protect you, keep you safe. And by doing so, it thinks that you should be doing things that do not serve you, because that's what safety is. Crazy because it thinks that it's being chased by lions, tigers, and bears, and it's in immediate danger all the time, and that by eating chips, you are saving yourself. Eating chips is the equivalent of running back into the cave and being safe. In your mind, in your brain, that's what it thinks is going on. It has no idea what's actually happening. This is why you can create an emotion in your head without ever having to feel it. You can watch a movie and start crying because you're creating and attaching an emotion to whatever you are thinking. And the more emotional attachment you give something, the stronger it becomes. So that's why I'm going to talk about emotional eating briefly. Emotional eating tools and strategies is this. Be in your body. Be willing to feel an emotion. Let it in. Accept it. Acknowledge it. Categorize it as an emotion, as sadness, anger, hunger, fear, whatever it is. And then just let it be there. Let it go. The thought, the feeling, the emotion that you are having in this very moment is just a sentence that you've created in your mind. Just a physical vibration in your body that you've created. It holds no power. It can do nothing to harm you unless you decide to act on it in a negative way. Again, your choice. So be in your body, feel on purpose, be okay with it. And then you're going to take in the goodness of the day. So set an alarm on your phone that says, what's going right? And then you look around you and you look at things. Because when you become present and you become aware in the very moment, then you release all the other negative feelings that you're having, the other negative thoughts. So the thoughts that I want to eat a bag of chips right now isn't going to serve you anymore. You're going to be sitting on your chair or on your couch and you get this thought, and you start to get up, and you walk towards that cupboard, but then you stop, and you think, what's going right? What's awesome right now? And you're actually reframing your brain away from that desire, away from that urge that you're having. So you get to decide what goodness you have in your life, and you get to look forward to it. You get to look at it from a different perspective. And this works in food too. So you look at the bag of chips and you think, is this serving me? Is it good for me? Am I going to get to my outcome with this? And then you look at a glass of water and you go, holy crap. Thank you so much for this glass of water, this water that my body needs to survive, so my heart can keep pumping. Because it pumps without me having to think about it. And that is a beautiful thing. All of a sudden, your thought about chips means nothing. Your thoughts about chips is crap. Because you focused on being aware and being present and being grateful for the amazing things that do serve you. For having feet to walk on. For having clean water to drink. For having clean glasses that you can drink out of. All of those things feel so much better than eating that bag of chips that you know does not serve you, that makes you feel good in the moment, but never, ever in the long term. So let's look at urges now. An urge is simply a thought. It has no authority, but it does demand action. So you must do something about this urge you are having. Here's 3 options. You can give in, and your brain can get whatever it wants because you've given in, you've given up. Or you could resist and replace. Or number 3, you could allow the urge to be there. Allow the chocolate cake to be there. Allow whatever it is to be there. And by that, I don't just mean the physical aspect, say the chips or the pop or whatever it may be, but I mean the emotion. Allow that emotion to be there. Be willing to feel that emotion. This is what you want to do. You want to allow it to be there. You don't want to give in because the urge is going to intensify every single time from here on out every time you give in. You could relate that back to a child in a store who's freaking out and doing everything like crazy, and you give in, and then you go back to the store a week later, and guess what? It happened again. Holy crap. It's again. He's freaking out. Here's another chocolate bar. Here's a banana. Here's whatever it is you're freaking out about. And then option 2, you could resist and replace. So you could say, no, I'm not going to have that chocolate cake, but I'm going to have this instead. Well, in your mind, in your brain, it's still getting something out of it. It's not actually learning anything. And you want to be in the stage of learning, of being aware that that thought is there, that that urge is there. Your brain doesn't care what it is that is getting, as long as it gets something. It cares about neurochemicals, like serotonin and dopamine and all those things. It doesn't give a flying crap about what the actual food is. And then you can just allow it to be there. You can build up this skill. Yes, it's a skill to allow the urge to be there. And the more you allow it to be there, with your prefrontal cortex part of your brain, with your rationalizing brain, the more you allow it to be there, the more likelihood it is to become a habit. When it becomes a habit, it moves into your lower part of your brain, which is very easy, very efficient, and you can do it like nothing, like ease. Doesn't that sound exciting? To be able to have a cupcake sitting there, or a bag of chips, or whatever it may be, and have no desire for it whatsoever? Well, it can be done. It can be done. You have to decide. You have to allow it to be there. You have to accept and acknowledge and feel on purpose every emotion and think about the thoughts that you think, or the thoughts that you don't know you are having. And that can be done by looking at how you've moved around. What are your results? How did you get to that fridge in the first place? That is the question there. So in the last video, I'm going to talk about how transformation is a decision. So what I'm going to look at here is something called the pre-commitment strategy, emotional childhood, and how we can set our intentions to get results. See you in the next video.